Hi muckers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing very well. Before we get into this video, please consider subscribing if you're not. Over 67% of people that have watched my videos in the last few weeks are not subscribed. I'm going to be here every day uploading videos, so if you want to see them, I will be here, so please consider subscribing. Anyways, if you're aware, we have been covering the Brooke Schofield situation, and we just posted a video, I did a really big deep dive on it, I think 2 days ago, if you want to go watch and figure out everything. And then we had reacted to Trisha Paytas talking about it. And a lot of people, I uploaded that like 2 hours ago, and a lot of people have let me know that H3 have also covered it. Now, I've not seen H3 pop up on my timeline in quite some time, actually. I don't get recommended their videos anymore. Normally, I'd be a lot quicker on this, so I apologize. But I have seen that they have posted about it. I have not watched this yet. The like to dislike ratio is not that great. And also, I was going through the comments here, and people don't seem to be very happy, so I don't really know what the take was. But, I mean, we have comments here that are saying things like, hold on, let me pull this more into frame. There we go. Someone said, I think H3 needs to have a black employee because Ethan gives too much grace with stuff like this when he's not the one that can give it. If this was David Dobrik or Cody Code, they would have held them accountable with zero grace. It's insane how unserious this video was. All right. If you're not the one offended, you don't get to say when she should be forgiven. I hate how much he's downplaying Brooke's comments just because of her age. That's not an excuse. I think he's not understanding how hurtful and dangerous it is to make those type of comments. She didn't say a bad word or say edgy racial jokes, which can be forgiven as something teenagers do. She defended what happened to Trayvon Martin. There's no forgiving that. That's extreme sociopath behavior. What are we doing here? I wonder how light Ethan would have gone on them if this was about someone like Logan Paul and not a friend of the show. Huh. Okay, this one's longer. Let's read it, and then we're going to get to it. Okay, I haven't even watched this yet, and apparently it's not that great. Black people who grew up in black person who grew up in Missouri here. I was raised in a white suburb surrounded by accidentally racist people, especially in school growing up. Like, I get it. Isn't that so sad for someone to say? Like, I get people being accidentally white people often live in their own little bubbles where race doesn't matter. Or they don't see colors. I've seen so many people that were commenting on other people's drama videos, and they were like, when I grew up, I didn't see colors. That's not a great statement to make, by the way. Oh, I don't see colors when you're talking about black people and POCs. Yeah, that's not the thing that you think it is, by the way, when you say that, just to give you a heads up. And they don't think about the knock-on consequences of their actions because they never encounter how it causes problems before. At best, they're naively ignorant in those cases, and you don't want to bring the hammer down on a person who breaks a rule they don't even know. But for all the black POC people, adults and kids alike, who are around those individuals, the hurt is still there. If a teenager casually drops a slur to be edgy, it ain't funny to hear. It makes you feel looked down on or that you don't belong. And at worst, like you might be in actual danger because now you're wondering if you're in proximity to a person who hates your guts. Trayvon Martin's death was inescapable in the state when it happened. Everyone talked about it. And to this day, I remember sitting in a classroom listening to my white peers talking about how it wasn't that big of a deal. And people were blowing it up like I wasn't in the room. I was the shy black girl no one spoke to and no one bothered for my opinion. And I left wondering what the kid did to be disregarded other than the crime of being black. I liked wearing dark baggy hoodies at that time because it hid my figure. I still do. And to this day, I get anxious at the idea of getting caught walking down my own neighborhood at night because some lunatic thinks I'm causing a scene. It may be a learning moment for you, but it's another scar for us. Oof. All right, let's get to this. The title is, we have to talk about the Brooke Schofield situation.
We got
another headline story we got to get to, right?
Brooke Schofield.
Short on time here.
Schofield.
Schofield, true, girl.
True.
Show up.
We also have the CoffeeZilla one that I want to watch too. But let's talk about Brooke.
I'm going to speed this up. a little bit just because it's 37 minutes and I want to get the entire thing.
Sco, my bro. All right, so Brooke Schofield is Tana's partner on the Canceled podcast, which has been doing real great numbers, and the podcast has been doing great. I'm happy for Tana. I like her as a person, and I think she, as a person, obviously has matured a lot, and I respect her for that. Okay, so let's see what's happening now.
Sorry, Jason Nash uploaded 4 hours ago and only got 600 views.
My son played the Troubadour last night.
600 views in 4 hours? With an entire hour-long podcast? 3 comments? And one of the comments is, yeesh, hard watch. Wow. Rough.
Old tweets by Brooke from the Canceled
It's
podcast.
always the old tweets, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Accuse her of being racist here is, and being MAGA, which is a thing, I guess. It kind of depends on what you say, I think. Let's see. Now, this one's here from 2016, which is, I don't know how old she is. She's pretty young, right?
She's
her?
27 now. She was born in 96.
2016, so 8 years ago. And you said she's how old now?
27.
So she was 19?
I mean, okay,
Like,
19.
roughly?
Yeah. 19's like right on the cusp of like knowing
Yeah.
good enough.
19.
In college, freshman or sophomore in college, right?
But so anyway, here's what she said. This is from 16. I'd just like to know what percentage of Hillary voters get their political insight from Beyonce. Okay, it's anti-Hillary. America is great again. Okay.
That was after he got elected. It
Yeah.
looks like November 9th.
2 types of people on Twitter right now. Those who know what they're talking about and those who support Hillary Clinton. Okay, I mean,
All right, so she was MAGA in 2016. That looks pretty undeniable.
yeah. But I mean, I won't call these racist. I mean, they're kind of like, just kind of normal, ignorant MAGA posting.
Yeah, those are the MAGA posts.
There's more though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just judging what I saw.
Yeah. I mean,
Obviously
there's
embarrassing.
the standard level of MAGA racism that just kind of exists. There's a baseline there, right? Not overtly, but
Well, none of it is good.
I was about to say inherently they are problematic as well. That's undeniable. And then when it's put into context with all of the other ones, it paints a racist picture. Because there's so much racism going on.
Let's judge it. These ones are from 13. So, wow, these ones are even older, which would make her 16 at the time? Yeah.
right.
So at 16, you should get a lot of grace, I feel like.
Right. This is literal, like in high school tweets.
I mean,
Yeah.
let's be real.
Well,
dude.
before I say anything, let me see them.
I was about to say it's very weird that before Ethan has read the tweets, he's dismissing them. He has literally just dismissed these tweets before he's even fucking read them. He went, all right, we'll give some grace. You haven't even fucking read them yet.
I'm not.
I don't want to defend anything. That I haven't
I'm just
seen.
saying, at 16, let's be real. Who of us hasn't?
And it was very quick response from Dan and Olivia. Did you hear that?
Let's judge it. These ones are from.
It was literally like, oh, that's not. If you kick, who's going to clean your toilets, Donald Trump? Ooh, that's not in the sense, like, that's literally what that moment was.
So, wow, these ones are even older, which would make her 16 at the time? Yeah.
Right.
So at 16, you
Dan has such beautiful eyes. See those striking blue eyes?
should get a lot of grace, I feel like.
Right. This is literal, like in high school tweets.
I mean,
Yeah.
let's be real.
Well,
dude.
before I say anything, let me see them.
Thank you, Dan. Let's go through them first before we form a fucking opinion.
I don't want to defend anything. That I haven't
I'm just
seen.
saying, at 16, let's be real. Who of us hasn't said and done fucking dumb shit?
Okay, but this is the really frustrating thing about Ethan. He is literally about to read a tweet where Brooke Schofield is blaming a 17-year-old kid who was harmlessly buying Skittles and a drink, who was shot dead because of a racist man. He's, without reading these, is now putting that down to, out of his own ignorance of defending Brooke for goddamn no reason, down to, who hasn't done stupid shit when they were 16? I'm sure the majority of 16-year-olds haven't done what Brooke did. Like, this is so frustrating to watch, and I can clearly understand the comments now. And hand to God, I have not seen this before. Literally, this is so long within itself. Why would I watch this twice? So I'm going bit by bit with you, but this is the really, really, really frustrating thing about Ethan continuously acting really quick on his takes. That, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're already excusing something that, so what, when he reads this now, he's going to be like, but she was 16. It's not a blanket statement of excusing things because you were younger. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
You know, like we can't sit here and act like at 16 we were perfect, woke, sensitive.
Go on
beings.
record.
I was in a fucking
Quite yet.
gang at 16, dog.
That's right. That's right. AB was in a gang.
You were?
No, not really, but I did have a gun pulled on me. At that
All right,
age.
so this one's from 13.
He was living a hard life, man. He was throwing himself downstairs at 16.
Yeah, we never talked
No, that
about
was
that.
not till college. But enough about me.
I mean, she's old enough for Cody Ko to have sex with. I don't know what that means. Does that mean anything?
17.
All right, so anyway,
Well,
13.
What did turn out to be 16?
She said,
No, they
guarantee,
talked when she was 16.
Got it.
guarantee if Zimmerman shot a white guy, this wouldn't even be a story. Newsflash, this wasn't a crime or racism, it was self-defense. That's obviously like a
Super ignorant.
insane take.
Well, it's also just really.
It wouldn't be a story
I mean, listen,
because
we're
he
talking
probably
about-
wouldn't have shot him if you were a white kid. Like, that's...
Well, I mean,
it's ignorant, and she denounces it today, which is good.
like, okay, so, yeah, that was the whole point, right, is that it was a racist
Yeah.
killing.
Right. So guaranteed, if this other thing that didn't happen had happened instead, it wouldn't be a story. Like, yeah, the story was that it was this racist guy shot
That's why
the
it
black
was a
kid.
story.
That's why it's a
Correct.
story.
That's like saying, you know.
And also, it did happen. It didn't not happen. So
You know
why-
that video of Bill
You got
Gates
it.
drinking the poop water?
Yes, classic.
That'd be like, people wouldn't even care about this if it wasn't poop water, it was just regular water. Yeah.
Right.
That's why it's interesting. That being said, if you guys think I'm being light on her, it's because of kind of how she's addressed this in the past, which I'll get to. So don't get all crazy on me. With peace and love. Next one.
This is so weird because, again, I hate to repeat what the comments said, but like, there's very few people I think Ethan would go through all this with and defend immediately off the thing. And also, because I've been educated on this ever since this came up, this has came up multiple times. Multiple times. Obviously, I've only seen it, and a lot of people have only seen it, and the mainstream have only seen it within the last couple days. But this has been like on Reddit circulating for years. And Brooke herself, in her apology video, said, I didn't want to address it because I didn't want to bring attention to it in case it hurt people, which is bullshit. She was obviously just hoping that it would go away. So Ethan is not giving any real opinion on a tweet as downright fucking revolting as that, and instead being like, hey, I'm going to defend her, and I'm going to explain why in a second. Ooh, that's not.
One is from 2016, so she was 19. I started faking liberal views when writing college papers, and it's so concerning how much my grades have improved since.
Ooh, that one's pretty bad.
That's like math.
That's just dumb. Like, that's for sure not true, by the way. She's like, oh,
But also,
this seems like a really good liberal. I'm going to give him an A.
Again, I don't understand what he's doing here. He's literally reading a bad tweet from her and being like, and he's like, I doubt she was actually doing that. Does Brooke go on this podcast for them to do, well, not for them, by the way, because I'm not speaking about the crew right now. I think there's a very clear divide from the crew, specifically Dan and Olivia. By the way, and I know AB's there, but like, are there less members on the crew now? Like, I haven't seen the H3 show in a while, but like, normally it's a lot louder. Like, is everyone there but like silent? I know there's a lot more. I know Sam just left. Lena. Zach. The Switzerland one. What's his name? Love. Ela? Is there more? It's so much just a lot more hectic and loud. Anyways, but like, literally, he's reading a tweet from her that's bad. The career going, oh, that's bad. And he's like, yeah, but there's no way she was actually doing that. Okay, like, what are we doing?
Yeah, and also maybe whatever the right's opinion on something might just be complete bullshit. So.
She's like, I stopped writing racism. I stopped writing racist jokes about black people.
I stopped writing-
My teachers really like me a lot more now.
writing ignorant
racist.
shit and my grades
Yeah.
improved. It's crazy.
I mean-
yeah, also that just having that as one of your past things will forever follow you
embarrassing.
because it's, well, like, is she faking it now?
She's faking it.
That
Like, that's like the
an
worst one in a
interesting
way.
thing to-
Well, she
Yeah.
isn't. She isn't. She said it. She came out and said it.
Right, but maybe she's just saying that. Because
Maybe
like she said,
we can judge based on more evidence.
Yeah, I guess we'll see.
She continues. From 12. My God, this is even older. So she was 15. Hey, my God, I swear I had nappier hair this morning than most African Americans on this end of the
Jesus.
country. Hashtag Afro.
Okay, but this is like a 13-year-old tweeting this or something.
I mean, that's very much a
2012.
product of our environment at 13. Obviously, it's just gross.
I don't want to be like too harsh on literal children saying stupid.
Oh my God, he like immediately is going in after every tweet with like a reason that it's not bad. Jesus Christ.
The college
agree.
ones, yeah, you're in college, you're an adult at that point, like, you know.
And then here,
be
this
judged
one,
on it.
this
Oh wow, I haven't even seen this.
Mexican baptism bean dip. Sorry about that, Nate.
It's okay.
Sorry, Nate.
Sorry
Sorry to
about
hear
It's all
that.
good. It's all good.
Sorry, Nate.
It's real fucked up though.
It's yeah. So I mean, obviously racist and horrible. She's 15.
These are not good.
Yeah, Casey yells racist profanities in the movie theater. Only minority in the room is sitting directly behind us. Jesus Christ. That was
Pretty
in
bad.
15, so she was
18?
18.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that one
that's
kind
pretty
of
psycho.
that one felt worse than the other ones because being a keyboard warrior online, like saying all this weird shit is one thing, but here she's like admitting she and her friends are like doing shit.
Screaming
We
slurs.
were doing
Yeah.
it racism in the theater.
Yeah, that's like
pretty
really
bad.
off.
That one's pretty bad.
Fucking insane.
You know, I blame Cassie for that one.
Cassie, only Cassie.
Racist.
That Cassie. That's a racist name, by the way.
Well,
The majority of Cassies are white supremacists. I'll just say it right now.
no, there's
Not all, not all.
Yeah, there's Queen Cassie who was dating Diddy, unfortunately.
I'll tell you what, boy, my girl Cassie out there, she crazy, man. I can't bring her nowhere. She be yelling profanities all up and down the street. Thank you. Shout out to the good Cassies.
Shout out to all the good guys.
We love them. She continues. They cut out the year on this one, but I'm assuming it's around the same age. I said so many accidentally racist things last night. I don't know how I even made it back to America. Okay, well, at least she acknowledges that she should be outcast. She should be exported from the country.
Racist things last night. I don't even know how.
Oh, no. Not.
That's great.
Wait, what is this?
Yeah, wait, hold on. I
Oh,
saw the
because
gorilla and I was
she
immediate
reposted
like, this
it.
is going to be bad. But
By the way, the year for that tweet was 2015.
well, I guess what's the
cut out.
context? Because the gorilla's wearing a graduation cap. I guess I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, I could tell it's nothing good. I can tell it's very much not good.
What
Who put this together? Who put together the album?
does it mean? Do you know?
I think it's Michael Brown because I know there's pictures of him with his green graduation uniform.
Oof.
Who's
That was
Michael
like in
Brown?
2014. It was a big story at the time.
Who is Michael Brown?
Michael Brown. Here, yeah.
This is
I
from
think,
16,
I think you're
by the
right.
way. This is from
Uh,
May 29, 2016.
I believe he was the
another
one that
victim
was selling cigarettes in New York. Oh wait, no. I'm confusing. Unfortunately, there's been a lot of these. So,
May
He was killed in
29.
Ferguson.
In 2014.
oh, he was the one in Ferguson.
Yeah.
That's right. Yep.
Do the dates line up?
This is 2014, though.
This is 2014.
This is from 16. How does that involve the graduation cap?
So what?
Is it a Harambe? The picture they were showing was him in his graduation uniform. And it was green.
Oh, so it's got to be that then.
Yeah.
I mean, if it is, I didn't know the context of that. And the way that there's so many tweets that she's done, there were so many tweets in which this could be alluding to. This was also during the time when the Hillary Clinton campaign was being endorsed a lot by the Obamas, which is what a lot of people were sending me this tweet saying it was in context to. But if there's something to do with like graduation wearing hat, it's the same thing. None of it's good. None of it's good. All these different, fucking options that people are giving that this could be about, none of them are good. What are they all stemming from? Like, they are just racist.
That's mega fucking.
Did we not put together this album?
I did.
So Harambe died
Pop-
around there
But,
But
too.
like, where did it come from?
Pop
is what I'm
Crave
saying.
posted it.
Pop Crave. Okay, got it. That's what.
Is it? If it's a Harambe reference, then I don't get it at all.
Harambe died May 28th, 2016.
So this is Harambe. But what I
Rest in
don't get
peace.
is the cap. We're trying to decode this deep level racist shit here. This is like.
Well, if it's a
Velveteen
Harambe
Eyes.
meme, then it probably isn't.
It might not be racist.
That's why I really want to get to the bottom of this.
Because potentially this one is really gross.
Yeah, why do they just throw
Potentially-
in stuff like Harambe memes in the middle of that?
Let's see, Pop Crave. Let's see what you've been up to here.
Now, it wouldn't be surprising if it was a racist retweet, considering all the
Well,
ones.
yeah, it wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, it's on brand for
Yeah.
sure. Boys Lie released a statement. Wait, what is this? Collaboration with Brooke? What is Boys Lie? After fans uncovered a plethora of racist and problematic tweets from her.
Clothing brand.
We are in a weird position right now. We didn't want to end the weekend without saying that we hear you, we see you, and we are adamantly working on a solution. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't really say.
Not exactly that compelling of evidence.
Like, the tweet above it from the one I read was a tweet about Obama.
The context.
All right, well, regardless, there's enough to make even the assumption that it's something racist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
However, so those are the tweets. Now, admittedly, those are really bad, embarrassing, terrible things. However, I saw this post right here. This got deleted?
I think Ethan's the only person I've seen cover this. Go, these are really bad posts. However, I don't know what he's gonna say next.
Post I sent.
Oh.
Well, where's the statement she said back then? That's all I care about. And they was a collection of tweets from like 2018.
I'm
I
not-
know that she had a Reddit comment from a few years ago.
Hold on.
And then
hold on,
there was
hold on.
also, I included, before she was an influencer, she posted on Facebook during the 2020 protests, she talked about unlearning racism and the people in her life.
Can you find those, please?
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, so let me read her apology in the meantime. So here it is. TikTok.
Is our home.
It is our home. Shit.
Right, guys, I have had a
Not
lot
for
to say
long.
about accountability lately and how important it is and how far it can go. And
Okay, wait. Ethan was like, I'm not going to go too hard. He said at the start, I'm not going to go too harsh on her, and I'm going to explain why. And this is obviously it, where he said that she's already addressed it, and the Facebook post where she was talking about Black Lives Matter movement. Okay, here is the thing. She literally has said online that she's faking liberal views, that she's supporting Trump, liking Trump photos a couple days ago and stuff like this. None of it looks good. And also, her supporting Black Lives Matter in 2020 does not evade from the fact that she has been running from these things being brought up, you know, for years, which they have been, and people have been showing proof of that on subreddits and being deleted and moderated and stuff like this. Like, I can't believe that's his reason for not wanting to really talk about it. Like, no wonder all the comments in this video are the way they are. Someone said 19 is right in the cuff of knowing. I knew what racism was when I was 6. She has no excuse. However, as a POC, all I care about is how she acts moving forward. The grace the crew and Ethan are giving is wild. They never seem to handle these situations well. Can I apply to be the token black person on y'all's podcast? You're looking a little too white these days. I hate how much benefit of the doubt he's giving to people when they've made big mistakes. Just acknowledge the mistake as a mistake and you don't have to downplay it. Clown on these people like everyone else. Raise your hand if you're not surprised Ethan is defending her. I did some cringy things in my younger and teen years, but I was never racist.
I feel like I'm not taking my own advice. Obviously, by now you guys have seen the tweets that are circulating around. They, unfortunately, are not fake. Those are real tweets, like real things that I said. First of all, I want to acknowledge that I feel the same way about them that you do. I think they're so disturbing, they're wrong, they're horrible, and they're
Was all this just
disgusting.
up on her Twitter?
Of course, I do appreciate the
I
people who are
checked,
coming to back
I think she
Hillary
deleted
ones are
them, but
still
I think they've been going around for a while, and it just kind of
The Hillary ones are still up.
galvanized now for some reason.
She still
Delete
has
the
some of those still
hateful
up on her
tweet.
account. What is
She said she erased them, didn't she?
I looked this morning.
She
the
looked this,
Hillary
yeah,
ones
Lou
are
looked
up.
this morning.
I labeled in the
with peace and
outline
love?
if they were up or not.
Why are you delete your
Wait.
Twitter account?
Delete the
Obviously.
hateful tweet in question.
Like what are
Hold
you
on.
doing?
There's also something so crazy about keeping all the tweets up years later.
This is an image or a link, not a link. You took these from her Twitter account?
Some say delete.
No,
right?
these I took from PopCrave, but I cross-checked this morning and I labeled which ones were up and which ones weren't. and
Got
they
it.
were-
All right.
George Zimmerman situation. Try not to be so emotional because I don't want it to seem like it's like a sympathy thing at all. I also don't want to blame anybody else at all. And so I'm trying like to be really careful about that. I just want to explain like and give some context into like my mindset at the time, because I have seen like some comments today that are like, well, no shit, she's racist, like white nepo baby, like a little like spoiled brat, like, and that was not my situation. And my parents were addicts, so I was adopted by my grandparents when I was like 10, and I grew up with them
Oh my God.
from that point on. And
I'm sorry, what?
as is true for a lot of grandparents, they're
Who cares? Why is she talking about this?
I think I really appreciate Dan in this a lot, actually. I really do. because I think him and Olivia are having such a vocal reaction to Ethan's dismissal of everything. But also, Dan, at the start of this, when Ethan was dismissing it immediately, was like, hey, well, let's read them first. And now here he's basically saying the great point of, why is she saying all this in her apology video? We do not give a fuck. Like, I'm really, really, really thankful that Dan is on the team for this, because without, and Olivia as well, because what's going on? Like, what is going on, actually?
She needs to.
I have racist old tweets because my parents were addicts.
Hold on, let me go back. Her parents were drug addicts?
Like, what are we
A little bit
doing
less
here?
progressive than a lot of us are now. And my grandma has dementia, so it was really just like me and my grandpa. And he is a very, very right-wing conservative man, okay?
Right.
It was like my household was literally just Fox News all the time, Rush Limbaugh, like if you guys know who that is, like playing literally all day long through the house, and that was just like the only thing ever that I had been exposed to. A lot of you guys have also seen my mom's Twitter because she was responding back and forth about the Trayvon Martin situation, and I just should have known better. I know her, and I should have known that she's not somebody that I take any sort of political insight from at all. Again, sometimes you like have these people that you like put on a pedestal and you think everybody older than you is smarter than you and knows everything, and they do not. Truthfully, it took me a really long time. Like, I know some of the tweets I was like 18 and people are like, yeah, like she was old enough to know better. Like, honest to God, you guys, it wasn't until like even after college that I really started to like shift my way of thinking. And there are people in my life who I might have looked up to forever who I do not agree with. I think it's amazing now that people are like learning earlier on about politics and like forming their own opinions outside of like what their parents think or what they're hearing or whatever it is. But that just wasn't the case for me. Whatever I heard, I passed on. I'm sorry. Very, very sorry.
Can I just also say how easy it is to not be racist? It is such a personal choice that is so easy just to not be racist. Okay. Just wanted to bring that up.
To anybody who is hurt by the tweets, because obviously they are very hurtful. Like a lot of it is just like what, like why would I even say that? And I apologize for not having said something sooner. I just felt like I was getting these messages for people who like were hurt by them, and I felt like by bringing more attention to it, I was just going to be hurting more people, and that was not the right mindset. I should have said something
Primarily me.
sooner, and I would never let something go this far.
primarily my career.
I love you all so much, and obviously I know that there are some people who are just like not going to care for me anymore. Like, I understand that. I need you to know that, like, it's not how I think. That is not what I believe. And I am 27 years old now. I've had so much time to, like, learn and grow and, like, formulate my own opinions. And they are nothing like they were when I was 17, 18 years old.
All right, so here's what I want to say. There's not. So now this is a very important part, in my opinion. Let's take a look at, since she was 19, and before that, when she was making these really gross tweets, racist, terrible things to say, embarrassing. Let's look at some of the stuff she's been tweeting. This one is in 2020.
It was before she was an influencer.
Before she was an influencer. That's interesting too, actually. So here she says,
In 2020, she didn't have a
No.
career yet?
No.
So she's just really blown up in the last 2 or 3 years?
Yeah.
just with
Okay.
Tana, right? Yeah.
That's how she got a platform in the first place. Is Tana made a story time about her. She used a pseudonym for Brooke. People found out it was Brooke. Brooke came out with the video.
So did she grow up with Tana? They're like childhood
No.
friends?
No.
Got it. Okay.
So anyway, this is 2020 before she was an influencer. That's
Got it.
good. So she says on Facebook, thought I share a few photos from a very peaceful protest in Hollywood this afternoon, as well as a few photos that have really resonated with me over the last few days. Although I have a much larger audience on my social media platforms.
Wait, sounds like she isn't.
Yeah, what?
What are we talking about?
This is because this, hold on. This is before she had like a big following. This is like maybe 15K.
Okay.
Although I have a much larger audience on my other social media platforms, most people my own age don't need to be convinced that racism is wrong. One of the real turning points in early adulthood was the moment I realized that even the people you look up to your whole life can be wrong about many things, and they most likely are. So this post is intended to encourage all my distant relatives and weirdly racist former classmates to turn off the news and do some real research, because this is a lot more than a bunch of misfits breaking windows and looting stores. What's going on right now is really special, and you should be ashamed to not be a part of it. Anyway, my point is you are either understand the movement or you're racist. Okay, bye.
To be clear, Tana's video where she posted that video was December 2020. So
It was a little before this. Okay. So she was probably starting to be an influencer, but.
Well, clearly, if
I was
Tana-
thinking if she didn't grow up with Tana, how else would she?
Okay, here's the thing. That's great. And that, by the way, is the bare minimum to have been outspoken about the Black Lives Matter movement in 2020, bare minimum. But putting that aside, that's fine, Ethan. Like, I'm not even gonna say it's great, because everyone should have been doing that. But all I'm saying is to completely downplay and disregard all of what we've just been through together because she went to a Black Lives Matter protest in 2020 is bullshit. It's bullshit. And I struggle to believe that Ethan would do this for any other creator. I struggle to believe he would do it for any other creator. I don't know why he's making an exception for Brooke. I don't know. But it's absolute BS to write off all of those tweets, specifically the Trayvon Martin ones. And by the way, he said back then, like, there's a reason that I don't want to go so hard, or whatever the fuck it was he said at the start. And this is it. Because she posted about going to the Black Lives Matter movement in 2020. Like, oh, great. You know what I mean? Perfect. It's bullshit.
Yeah, she was clearly an
She did not
influencer.
grow up with Tana. They
Right,
met
I'm
when
saying
she
if
was
she
out.
knew her and made a video about her,
Well, yeah, they
then
were
she
friends.
was an influencer.
No, she wasn't an influencer. She was friends with her. She would be in like photos, but she
Alrighty.
didn't post videos.
Sorry, she made a story telling
Okay,
about something in her life.
It's fine. It doesn't matter. So she hadn't gone big. That's the thing. Okay.
Yes.
So that's from 2020, which is 4 years ago. This one is also from 2020. A few of my going back.
Yeah, but Brooke herself said that she only wasn't racist after she finished college, which would have been like 4 years ago, which is still something to like call out. Like, I don't understand his point here. Like, Brooke herself said that she felt those thoughts up until 4 years, or up until she finished college, which would have been then. To only be realizing that you shouldn't be racist at what, 22, 23 years old is fucking crazy. I'm 21 years old right now, and to think that it would be another 2 years for Brooke right now from where I'm at before she learned that, maybe mommy being racist doesn't mean that I have to be. Maybe fucking me, ma, being racist. Like, we would be calling anyone out. We'd be calling anyone out. And I really liked Brooke. She just followed me on Instagram last week. Like, I've been so supportive of Brooke up until this. But it's bullshit the way people are covering the story. So many people have been covering the story in such a ditzy little way like this. I don't get it. I really don't get it.
A few of my favorite tweets at the moment.
go back to
I've let
Came after other people for last.
continuing to repost anti-VLM videos, but I think I'm finished cyberbullying 65-year-olds for the day. Question for people my age: is anyone else having trouble getting through to loved ones who have been racist your entire life, who now miraculously claim their arguments are based off only facts and logic? I'm like, what? Question mark. Did you forget I've been here the whole time? So here's one of the tweets that she posted from Drew Gooden. Colin Kaepernick was villainized and ridiculed for kneeling during a song. Quiet acts of protest don't work if the people you're protesting to don't want to listen. And other ones that I can't read.
Right.
So that one was again in 2020, 4 years ago. And this one here is also from 2020. I guess this was this the George Floyd stuff around this time?
Yes.
Yeah. Here is, she posted a Grimes post. I'm confused. There's two names. There's Grimes and there's CS Midimang. How many reposts deep
Yeah.
is this?
Oh my God, there's a
There's
lot.
4 posts deep.
So the
Screenshots.
CSM first posted it. Grimes shared to her story, a screenshot to her story. Melissa shared it. Brooke reshared that.
All right, so here's what it says. Excuse me. What is so disgusting is that educated white people I know will say all lives matter. And they've been presented with enough information that it's clear they aren't lacking information on the situation or being obtuse. It's just to incite anger and deliberately gaslight black people and surrounding allies. You no longer need a metaphor about a burning house versus a house that's intact. You shouldn't need an additional history lesson. You shouldn't need additional context. Police brutality against the black community is an epidemic and has been for decades. If you don't get that, it's not because you don't have the info. It's that you just don't give a shit. Again, so what this tells me after having seen these things is that obviously she's changed. I mean, you can't go from being like George
Unless
Zimmer.
she's just lying like she did in college. That's why I
She
said that
wasn't
tweet's
even
the worst
popular
one.
then.
No,
She would have no reason to lie.
That's why I'm just saying that
Again, here we have Dan giving a different point of view, which is a fair argument that Brooke has tweeted that she fakes liberal opinions for attention, basically. And Dan brings this point up and he's being shot down immediately.
that one tweet is almost the worst one because it'll always be the seed of doubt. Are you just saying that? Are you just saying that?
What is it?
I'm somewhat kidding.
What is this? You sneaked?
From an hour ago. But I checked and it's
Oh,
gone.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I checked the original post and she has not liked it, so she must have unliked it.
It's from I mean, it could have been an accident. Whatever. So the thing is, 2020 was 4 years ago. So even 4 years ago, she was.
So that was her liking the Donald Trump photo. And he's going, oh, it doesn't matter. She probably liked it by accident. Like, the coverage here is very unfair.
Pretty polar opposite in terms of her opinion on race and culture and stuff like that, from what I can see from those tweets.
But why does that evade you saying that they're, like calling her out for that? You know what I mean? I've never seen Ethan cover a story where he's preemptively cut into the ending to show you that the bad guy's actually a good guy. You know what I mean?
So my point is, like, obviously the stuff she was writing was really terrible and gross. But having come from, like, a racist household and from a racist town and a racist community and stuff, and then gone out on her own and found somehow the way to educate herself and learn that the way she was living and thinking was bad. And this happened, again, 4 years ago, so this isn't even, like, really a thing that happened mega recently. It was, like, 2 years after some of those tweets were made, which makes sense. She was, like, 19, and then she's 21. So the thing is, like, if she's...
I just can't. I've been doing these drama videos for a long time, right? A long time. I've been making them since I was, like, 17 years old. And it's crazy to me that when people talk about creators who are, like, in their late 20s, they'll be like, oh, they did blank when they were 18 years old. They did blank when they were 19 years old. They were so young. And I'm like, okay, I can appreciate that at 21 years old, I am young. I can appreciate that. But I can let you know that at 21 years old, I know a lot of rights from wrongs. I know how not to be racist. I know, like, it's... People act like being 21, being 20, being 18, being 19 means you're so naive and you're so dumb. No, you're young. I'm young, but you're grown enough. You've lived enough. And if anything, I saw a lot of people commenting this, being surrounded by so many racists, you're experiencing them being racist towards people. And if you're just bandwagoning on that, you know they're doing it for no real reason, which is an active choice as well that you're choosing. So I just don't understand. I don't understand this at all, honestly.
She never addressed these tweets. I think it's good that she kind of addressed them, apologized and stuff. But the desire to cancel her just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. She's clearly...
But is it a desire to cancel when most people are saying that they would just like her to, like, truthfully address them and, like, be so willing to, like, adapt and show change? Like, this is so... It's so funny. It's like, this is one of the first times in a long time I've seen Ethan cover someone being called out and being like, I can't believe people are just immediately jumping to cancel someone instead of, I'm like, you don't speak that way when you're covering other people. You never bring it to the being canceled topic.
Change based on what she wrote. And I just don't understand. I feel like there's a lot of people that just don't believe in rehabilitation. Like, they want to hold people...
But people will only now be able to give her that chance. She has never apologized for these before, so this is the moment then that people will, forgive or start to look at her in a different light and then eventually forgive or eventually not. Like, it's only started now, so I don't understand him being like, people don't allow people to, rehabilitate their image or rehabilitate themselves or whatever. I'm like, people have only seen these tweets now. She's only now acknowledging them, so... allow people to have a moment with the fact their favorite creator has tweeted all these things. Like, why is he jumping like that? Like, I don't understand it.
Down to their worst moments, regardless of... Isn't the whole point of protest and all this stuff to change people's minds? Isn't that why they do it? Isn't that why you protest? Why you why you become an activist is to change and influence people. But yet somehow when people do change and are influenced, you don't want to actually ever allow them to change.
This is a really weird stance he's taking when Brooke has only now acknowledged this. Like, he is jumping the gun so much to defend her, and I'm like, has she been a guest on this show? Like, what is the tie here? Because he doesn't act like this with other creators. Is it because Brooke is so popular that they don't want to lose any crossover audience, or what? Like, this is really weird.
I find it really kind of...
As someone who's really enjoys Brooke Schofield on the podcast and stuff like that, I am able to call her out. I am able to call her apology bullshit. Then she made the other apology. I can give an opinion on that. Like, this black and white thinking of, you know, oh, you cancel culture and woke mob. Like, shut up. Shut up.
It's like short-sighted to the point of being even almost disingenuous. It's like just rage addiction. Because you have to allow people to rehabilitate. Okay. I say this all the time. People who get canceled online, it's like they're more forgiving of someone who like murdered someone and came out of jail. Someone came out of jail like 25 years later. You look at them like, oh, you know what? They've changed. They've rehabilitated. As opposed to like someone who made racist tweets like, 10 years ago and has...
And one of those tweets was literally involving a murder based on racism.
4 years ago, been advocating for the things that she was against before. It's like...
Well, how, not in the loop on this one. How canceled is she really? I mean, the name of the podcast is canceled. Well, right? It's kind of just living up to the name.
I saw that... Well, one of her sponsors was saying they're going to do something.
Sponsors and
she made a crying video apologizing that had a lot of views. I saw lots of tweets of people like raging.
They're coming after, okay.
Yeah, coming after.
Fair enough.
One of the criticisms I saw was that like, oh, you guys go after 19-year-olds all the time, so I can't give you a pass for being young, which is fine. It's true, but again, she's changed her opinion, and not even recently.
Yeah, I think she could have like. In her video, she's talking about I was raised by my grandparents and effectively just saying that they were like super racist conservatives, right? And so like I get that. Like if you're a kid and you grow up in a racist community, raised by racists, surrounded by racists, you're probably going to be racist. And when she got out of that environment, if she then kind of snapped out of it, yeah, that should be lauded or whatever. I guess it just people didn't know. It's just that she hid it, maybe that bothers people.
So what I understand,
like maybe she just needs to own it more.
I don't think
like,
she
yeah,
hid
I used
it.
to be super racist, and then I realized
I don't believe
stupid.
she hid it.
She's addressed this stuff before. No, this has been something that has been spread for a very long time, which I'm now seeing and was pushed under the rug. So that's not a true statement from Ethan.
She responded on Reddit when they first came out under like an anonymous name.
So
and
like
that's where it was settled, and then now they've come back up because
so I think she should address them. She should apologize for them. But if we're being honest, obviously it's not up to me to forgive her because I'm not the target of like her racist remarks. However, it does appear to me that she's certainly a different person now than she was. And I think that's a good thing. I think we should be happy that people can change for the better. Yeah. And it happens every fucking day all around the world.
Okay, yes, I agree. And we should be very looking positively on that and being like, oh, she may have fully changed and, focusing on that positive conversation. But Ethan, you have not, when you've covered other people being called out, being like, they're such a different person, such a great person. Like, you can call them out and focus on that and not have the entire loom over it be, but they're a great person now because you're downplaying what they've done. You can do both at the same time, but you haven't even done one of those things. And it doesn't. Thankfully, Dan and Olivia have.
It doesn't help them. It doesn't help you to hold people down forever to their worst moment.
Hold people down forever to their worst moments? This story broke within the last week, Ethan. This has not even been news mainstream for more than a week. What is this with this dramatic spiel he's doing here? I've never heard him do this with another creator ever.
And not ever allow them to grow or change because let's be real. That's why we do this stuff. That's why activism is even a fucking thing. So, I think it's important to hold people accountable, but I also think it's important to allow people the opportunity to change and to redeem themselves, which I believe, based on what I've seen, she has done. And again, the fact that she made these comments 4 years ago speaks to me that it's genuine because This isn't like something she just kind of decided all of a sudden. This is something she's been thinking for a long time now. And 4 years is a long time, especially when you're like 29 or something.
Yeah, I mean, presumably she moved to LA and went to college and like kind of got out of that bubble and, you know, maybe met some non-white people and had a change of heart. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you. You know, we should hope that racist people reject those beliefs and come around. Like, you know, that is an admirable goal that I think we should all work towards. And so, you know, you don't want to necessarily drag people down for doing it. And I don't know her super well, you know, if she's still, and again, I keep harping on it, but that's why the most unfortunate, I'll say, tweet, maybe not the worst, but the most unfortunate one is the one saying, hey, I changed my beliefs disingenuously to get ahead in life. Like that one's so rough because now it's just.
Dude, it was just I don't think.
Yeah,
I
know.
I agree with everything you guys are saying 100%. People should be able to change, and I think it's okay for us to talk about. The only thing I would add on to that is that ultimately, though, I feel like it's not our place to say she's forgiven or not. And I'm not saying that is what you're saying, but I'm just saying
I said that, and I agree. I'm not here to forgive her. I'm just here to say that, in my opinion, it looks like she's changed. Yeah, I said. So.
Yeah, you said it maybe within the last, minute or so, but you fucking spoke for like 30 plus minutes defending her.
Mark Twain has this quote, by the way. He's credited as saying, travel is the best way to combat. Let me read the quote. Travel's fatal prejudice, bigotry, and narrow-mindedness, and many of our people need it sorely on these accounts. Broad, wholesome, charitable views of men and things cannot be acquired by vegetating in one little corner of the earth all of one's lifetime. That's true, right?
You read that off of something, or you just?
I remembered that he did a quote, and I looked it up on
Okay, very
ChatGPT
nice.
to pull this quote. As to not misquote the great Mark Twain.
What was that
Now-
quote again?
What I'm really curious about is how tall is she? Because that's going to help me.
How tall is she?
I don't care about the height of women.
If she genuinely, I guess it just comes down to whether you believe her or not. If she genuinely has changed her views, then that should be seen as a W. Not something to be attacked for.
Rehabilitation is like one of the cornerstones of like the human experience. I think people forget that, like how important it is to respect that process.
Sure.
Because we are all, as Jesus once said, we are all sinners. And some of us haven't had our most embarrassing, horrible moments caught on the internet to be preserved forever. Some of us were fortunate to be born before that time. And
some of us just weren't tweeting things like that of that extreme nature.
even before then, people who are violent, people who grow up in violent neighborhoods, people who don't respect like the rules of people who are thieves, people that have the wrong attitude about how to conduct themselves in society, these people can become like productive, good, valuable members of society, and it happens all the time. Especially, by the way, not in the United States where prisons essentially turn people into criminals here. But if you go to places like in Scandinavia where they're actually focused on rehabilitation, the rate of what is it when you go back?
Reconvict or something like that.
There's a
word for it. What is the word you're talking about?
revisitation. That's not that, is it? What's it
Reconviction.
called when a
Carnivore guy will fix that.
thoughts. Maybe I'm fucking pretending and lying about every single thing I've ever said. You do it based on whatever evidence you have available. Based on the fact that she made several statements as far as 4 years ago, like supporting BLM and talking about confronting her racist family members and all this kinds of stuff, to me, is pretty compelling evidence that she thinks very differently about all that stuff. I mean, what do you want to do? How do I don't have her.
Again, that may be the case, but that doesn't mean that you can't address why those tweets are so bad.
Are you a clairvoyant? I didn't know that people had that ability.
I kind of have to be with you.
Oh,
Yes, you.
the entire team are there. They're all silent today, aren't
We
they?
are telepathically connected.
Yes, energetically aligned.
Yes.
Wait, Zach, were you at Craig's maybe like a week and a half ago? Because I swear to God, I think it might have been you. My mom said it wasn't. I thought it was. It might not have been you. Do you occasionally go to Craig's? Was that or was that not you? It probably wasn't. But if it was, hey.
What can I say?
All right. I just kind of want to see more comments while I'm on this. Her response and lack of using the word racist proves to me that she is yet to change. Well, she did ultimately in the other video. People were just saying she was dead ass wrong. "19 is right on the cusp of knowing what's good or not. Hello, that's a grown adult, and most elementary school age kids can tell you racism is wrong. Was Brooke in the live? It reminds me of when Ethan was dick writing Pokimane, even though she was in the wrong, just because she was in the chat. Plus, the tweets where Brooke was laughing about how a POC overheard her racist friend and posted the pic with the gorilla, implying it was supposed to be a teen that was murdered. She has no empathy at all." "I'm sick of seeing white folks accept apologies on black folks' behalf. Will y'all stop doing that? If being accepting wasn't cool amongst her influencer friends in LA, would she have ever changed? I would love for Ethan to hire a black crew member. She was a college student. Nope, no excuse. I wish they would simply state this situation was insane and gross, but it's not up to me to speak on the situation and decide if her response was good or if it was fair. Instead of actually diving into the subjects regarding POCs that they don't have any representation of possibly even having a close relationship to. As a black girl who's a fan, every time a controversy like this comes up from an influencer, I cringe because I know I have to start prepping for an uninformed response. And I don't think that this means it's time to hire a token black person or find a black friend of the show, because a DEI hire is a way of putting more salt on a wound. Brooke didn't just say the M-word and other slurs, and she didn't just make, 2000s to 2010s edgy jokes. Her tweets were full-blown racist and dehumanizing comments and things to black people and pushed the bar further than most influencers, YouTubers in her bubble. And other than her not making any racist comments since then, I'm not sure how we can just assume someone has changed just because they want a social media presence. Her knowing about these tweets coming up for months and trying to ignore them is enough for me to decide whether or not she's made steps in the right direction and deserves forgiveness. Brooke is 27, almost 28, so she was 15 in 2012, 19 in 2016, so she wasn't 13, Ethan. Huh. Well, I mean, we will leave it there. I mean, at a bare minimum, I am glad that AB, Dan, and Olivia were there. Because I don't know what Ethan would be like covering these stories if it was just himself. All right, well, this was completely different than the coverage that we did of Trisha talking about it. I mean, justice for Trayvon Martin. All right, I will see you in my next one. Hope you're doing well, and goodbye.